Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. In this video we're going to discuss whether you should save or summon on the Thank You 2023 Exploding Gratitude campaign. So this banner obviously features the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, who transforms into the Super Saiyan Full Power 4 Goku. And then we obviously also have the TEQ banner Baby on it. And we also have a couple pretty interesting LR units on it. Now, when assessing the banner, I always like to look at it from two perspectives. One, the value of the headline unit, and two, the value for newer players or veteran players. How many times did these units come back? How good are these units in current content? And for newer players more, how strong is the ability of the leader skill? How good is the unit in general? An important thing to understand in terms of the discounts is it's 3 rounds of discounts. You get a 35 stone summon, a 30 stone summon, 35 stone summon, and a 45 stone summon, equaling in total 110 stones. And you get 3 of them, and they'll each give you 1 extra free round. So you can get 12 rounds of summons, which is traditionally 600 stones, for around 330, which is pretty good. So really high value in terms of that, which I think kind of makes it an automatic summon. But let's talk about the units. Now, for me, the units, honestly, nice selection here. I think there's 1 or 2 units that aren't necessarily units I would suggest, but I do see some pretty good value in most of these units. Obviously, Goku himself, we're talking about a top 5-ish kind of unit in the game, if not higher, depending on how you feel, if not lower, maybe if you're blind, but a really good unit, basically. It doesn't matter where he ranks. The point is, he himself is exceptional. He doesn't need to run on a GT team, but obviously he elevates the GT team. So he's a big buff for the GT team, but he can run on most teams. He doesn't need a lot. He can just work with it. Baby, banner units are hit or miss. Baby is a bit more in the miss category. He's kind of like Physical Zamasu, who from the Worldwide Celebration events, kind of really good in a certain situation. And Baby's kind of the same. Like, face him up against a super class enemy. You see this guy pump out some really crazy stats, especially if they're hybrid Saiyans, pure Saiyans. Outside of that, you don't get a lot. He doesn't come with a huge amount of juice outside of that situation. So it is a little bit rough for him from that perspective. Of course, doesn't change the fact that he's a good unit. But yeah. Then we get Vegeta and Trunks, exceptional unit. Of course, everyone will say, well, there's certain... With a dupe, they're still really strong. Without a dupe, they're still really strong. And with 2 dupes, they're amazing still. So they are a very good unit. Their leader skill is fantastic. Vegeta and Trunks are definitely a reason to summon. Now, LR Gogeta and the Physical Blue Boys, as they're known as, are both suffer from the same thing. They both have lovely animations and really fun, interesting kits and designs. However, they both need an Extreme Z Awakening to be able to do the top tier of content. They're still very useful for a lot of other content, so don't rule them out when you get them. They're not useless. They're just not as bright, shining pieces as the other ones. And then we get to Gamma 1 and 2, who are not only very rarely on banners, but are both actually very exceptional units. They're both super strong, still really good to this day, and they really excel together, which makes them a really fun pair. Plus their leader skills are amazing. Then we get GT Pan, and we get a couple easy A's to kind of round out the sound of the banner. TEQ GT Pan is pretty good. If you get Goku and you get TEQ GT Pan and you get the 7th year LRs, or you have the 7th year LRs, all of a sudden your GT team looks pretty good. Pan is not bad by any means or stretch of the imagination. She's just a bit wonky in terms of links and can sometimes get caught out. When we look at, for example, obviously, the full power SS4 Goku, I don't think he's a reason to summon, as is neither the INT SS4 Goku, Gogeta. I think they're both okay. I don't have problems with them as a unit. I just don't think they're incentives to summon. They're good units. If you get them, fantastic, but they're not super crazy. They don't do too much outside of being okay. So in terms of the banner, obviously there's quite a few units. I would say 6 out of the 10 are pretty much good to go to summon on. I include GT Pan in that. Obviously you do get red coins, the discounts. For me, it's definitely a must summon. 330 stones for 600 stones worth of summons is always kind of like do it anyway. And then plus the fact that you can get, I would say anywhere ranging from 6 out of the 10 units being leaders, really good.